Hana and Yuna, the Forest and the Witch. Hana lived in Tokyo with her parents. She loved books, science, and learning new things. Her grandparents lived far away, in a beautiful old house in Paris. One summer, Hana's parents decided to visit Paris during the school holidays. Hana was excited, but also a little nervous. "I don't know anyone in Paris," she said. "Maybe you'll make new friends," her mum replied with a smile. A new friend in Paris. Paris was beautiful. The streets were full of flowers, music, and the smell of fresh bread. Hana enjoyed spending time with her grandparents, but she still felt a little lonely. One day, while shopping with her mum in a small local store, she saw a girl about her age. The girl had long white hair and a warm smile. "Hi, I'm Yuna. Are you new here?" Hana smiled. "Yes, I'm Hana." I quickly became friends. The trip to the forest a few days later, Yuna said, "Let's go to the forest tomorrow. There are so many animals. Maybe we'll see a fox or a deer." Hana was excited. "I've always wanted to see wild animals up close." The next day, the two girls packed water bottles, snacks, and a camera and walked into the forest. The trees were tall, and sunlight came through the leaves. Birds sang, and the wind moved gently through the branches. But suddenly, they heard a strange sound. It was like a whisper or a soft chant. "What was that?" Hana asked quietly. "I don't know," Yuna said. "Let's follow it." The cabin in the middle of the forest. They walked slowly, following the sound. It grew louder as they got deeper into the forest. Soon, they saw an old wooden cabin in the middle of the trees. It looked old and a little creepy. Strange mushrooms and glowing flowers grew around it. Hana peeked through the window. Yuna stood beside her. Inside, they saw a woman with a black cloak and light purple hair. She stood by a large table and spoke strange words. On the table was a big map of the city of Paris. The witch laughed and said, "Sue!" Hana's eyes went wide with fear. At that moment, Yuna sneezed loudly. "Achoo!" The witch turned quickly and saw them at the window. "You little spies!" she screamed. She opened the door and pulled them inside with a wave of her hand. "The witch's plan." The witch looked at Hana with an evil grin. Your eyes show your intelligence. You are the one I need. Your mind will make me powerful." She raised her wand, and purple light sparkled around it. Hana stepped back. "No, leave her alone," Yuna shouted. The witch threw a magic spell at Hana. At that moment, Yuna had an idea. She quickly pulled out her small mirror from her backpack and held it in front of Hana. The spell hit the mirror and bounced back, straight at the witch. "No!" the witch screamed. "This can't be happening!" In a flash of purple light and a poof, the witch turned into a small wooden doll and dropped to the floor. Back and Hana and Yuna stared at each other in silence, then laughed loudly, not because it was funny, but because they were relieved, amazed, and maybe a little scared. "You saved me," Hana said. "Well," Yuna laughed, "we came to see foxes, not witches." They left the doll inside the cabin, closed the door, and walked back toward the town. When they arrived home, the sky was filled with soft sunset colors. Stars were starting to appear. Hana looked up and said, "This was the best summer of my life." And Yuna smiled and replied, "And it's just the beginning." Back home. The girls walked through the forest slowly, feeling both tired and happy. The sky above was now deep orange, turning purple near the horizon. Birds were flying back to their nests, and the first stars twinkled in the sky. When they reached Hana's grandparents' house, the warm lights were glowing from the windows. The smell of roasted chicken and herbs came from the kitchen. "Welcome back," Grandma called from the doorway. "Where have you two been all day?" Grandpa asked with a smile. Hana and Yuna looked at each other, then burst out laughing. "You won't believe what happened," Hana said. They sat down at the big wooden table in the cozy kitchen. Grandma gave them hot soup, fresh bread, and warm apple pie for dessert. As they ate, the girls told the whole story: the forest, the strange sound, the cabin, and the purple-held witch. At first, Grandpa and Grandma listened with wide eyes. Then Grandma said, "Well, that explains why the forest animals were acting strange this week. And the purple flowers near the woods," Grandpa added. "I haven't seen those in years." They all laughed together, but deep inside they knew the story was real. Una stayed for dinner, and afterward the girls sat by the fireplace. Hannah opened the Magic for Beginners book and flipped through the pages. "Look at this," she said. "This part talks about healing plants, and here, how to protect your dreams from bad spirits." Una leaned in. "Maybe we can use this to help others." That night, they promised to keep the secret safe, but also to learn more about magic, carefully and wisely. The last day in Paris. The next morning, Hannah woke up early. She looked around her room. The books, the Eiffel Tower poster, the old clock on the wall. It was her last day in Paris. She packed her suitcase slowly, folding her clothes and placing her favorite things inside. On top, she placed the small notebook where she had written everything about the adventure. Downstairs, the family was having breakfast. Una had come to say goodbye. "I'll miss you," Hannah said softly. "Me too. But we'll write to each other every week," Una promised. They hugged tightly. Then Una whispered, "Next summer, more adventures?" Hannah smiled. "Definitely." Back in Tokyo, the plane flew high above the clouds. Hannah looked out the window, thinking about the forest, the magic, and her new best friend. When they arrived in Tokyo, everything felt familiar. The bright lights, the tall buildings, the busy streets. But something inside Hannah had changed. She wasn't just the girl who loved books and science anymore. She was a girl who had faced danger, protected a friend, and discovered something truly magical. That night, as she placed the magic book on her shelf, she whispered, "Thank you, Una." Then she turned off the light, closed her eyes, and dreamed of forests, stars, and the next great adventure to come.
Thank you for watching the video until the end. Please subscribe to our channel, press the bell icon, and like our video.